I thought it was going to be a clip based upon your very prescient comment from yesterday about Terry Bradshaw. We were talking about what number Aaron Rodgers would wear in Pittsburgh. Number 12 is retired for Terry Bradshaw. Would he offer it? Maybe he wouldn't. And you said, didn't he say something about Aaron Rodgers at some point? Didn't he criticize Aaron Rodgers at some point? And it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe Terry was listening because Terry was on 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock, Arkansas yesterday, and it sounds like he's like a regular host of this show. And he got cranked up on Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. And here's just a little of what Terry had to say about the new quarterback the Steelers have been waiting and waiting for.
That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? I mean,
that's not the Steelers' way, right?
No, man, that guy needs to stay in California and go, somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there.
Oh, my God. Chew on bark.
Damn.
Go chew on bark.
Rodgers is going to wear 12 now.
it just speaks to, like, it is such a beautiful insult in the context as well. Because he does the whole ayahuasca, the mind-altering things, and, you know, the search for meaning and whatever. And it was so dismissive. And it's just a very colorful way of Bradshaw saying, this guy's nuts. Just get and I'm not saying I'm just saying that was the attitude from Bradshaw.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with this guy. He ain't right. You know, and this is an old school Bradshaw mindset. He's making a judgment that, you know, go chew on bark and whisper to the gods. You don't need to be playing football in Pittsburgh. And it's also at some level a commentary on this isn't the way people are in Pittsburgh. You don't have a lot of bark chewers in Pittsburgh. This is a culture clash that is just waiting to happen. And based upon the reaction that I saw online on social media to what Bradshaw said, you know, whether it's Cam Hayward saying you either want to be a Steeler or you don't, or it's Bradshaw saying go chew on bark and whisper to the gods, anytime someone says that, it unlocks the floodgates of Steelers fans who are like, right on, we don't want this guy.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure there's going to be a faction of any fan base that he goes to right now that's going to be a little bit like, are we sure we want him? I don't know. Is his best days behind him? Is he going to be good for our team, good for our locker room, good for the future of our organization after just this 1 year, presumably, at least what we think there? So, yeah, I think there's going to be that no matter what here. And then when you drag your feet a little bit and make the Pittsburgh Steelers fans wait, which are some of the best in football, yeah, that's going to be – they're going to be annoyed. They are. But again, we got to go back to the root of the problem here. One is Terry Bradshaw obviously has something with Rodgers. It's been comments before in the past. He's got issues with the Steelers too, so he gets to kind of make fun of both here in this and all in one swoop, which I'm sure he enjoyed. And at the end of the day, with all of this too, like we've discussed, this is Pittsburgh's fault. They've put themselves in this position, and they're the ones that got to deal with it here. We've all expected it to happen, and like we said, and like I've said a million times, he's definitely the best option they got. I can promise you you're going nowhere with Mason Rudolph, and I can promise you they know that, and that's why they're going to sit there and wait for Aaron Rodgers until he comes to town.
One fell swoop is the usual saying. All in one swoop has a certain sort of understated appeal to it. I like it.
Thank you.
And yeah, Bradshaw said the Steelers have been a failure. He liked Kenny Pickett. They brought in Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett didn't perform. Well, is it Pickett, or is it because the offense stinks? Is it because the blocking stinks? Is it because the running game wasn't as good as it needed to be? Right. Like, whose fault is it that Kenny Pickett failed? And the Steelers gave up on him pretty quickly. After 2 years he was out. They fired everybody after the 23 season, and they hired a new depth chart. And they did go cheap. As I said, they paid Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Kyle Allen collectively less than what Mason Rudolph got from the Titans in 2024, which is amazing. And this year, hey, if Rodgers does join, I mean, when he was on Pat McAfee's show, however many weeks ago it was, airing his grievances about, you know, how dare we talk about this guy at a time when he's not supplying any information as to what his future is going to be. And, you know, we're paid to try to figure this stuff out, so people want to know, so we have to talk. He did say he would play for $10 million. We'll see if it's a $10 million contract, a 1 year, $10 million contract with nothing else. One straight $10 million. That's what he said. That's what he said.
I know. And listen, when it comes to that, I'm going to take his word for it, because when you give a team back $30 million, then you're damn good in that department. So we'll see. You're right, but that was a shocking statement when I heard it as well, and that I'm sure the Steelers fans and team would love if he just took $10 million.
The way he said it and the body language as he was saying it, it was kind of like oh man, I'm going to regret this if I finish this sentence, but it's too late to turn back now. That was how I interpreted it. So We'll see how that goes, if he even does sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Or, will he show up on McAfee's show at some point and complain again that people are talking about him and they don't know what's going on? Well, when you have 184 minutes with Joe Rogan and you have a chance to talk again about what's going on, and there's just little vague hints buried within 3+ hours of chewing on bark and whispering to the gods, you do get to the point where it's like, dude, I mean, why, when he was on with McAfee, they were going out of their way. Anytime he would point out how he's chosen to be quiet, McAfee would say something like, oh, but you're the attention whore. Oh, but you want attention. Here's the reality. There's different ways to get attention. One way to get attention is to stand in the street and yell, hey, everybody, look at me, here I am, look at me, I'll say this, pay attention to me. The other way to set yourself up for attention is to deliberately say nothing. And I feel like he's deliberately said as little as possible because he knows that will spark all these conversations about him. So it is a very calculated way to get attention. Stay quiet on purpose and force people who are trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do to talk about you. And here we are. And there was Terry Bradshaw, and it's all about Aaron Rodgers, even though he's currently no more employed by any NFL team than you or me, Chris.
No, I hear you there. And I hear what you're saying. I do in a lot of ways too. But I also will think of the player a little bit, and maybe he's just, not trying to put himself out there, and who knows what else is going on behind the scenes there.
He sat at that Mike Stud concert answering questions recently. He is capable of saying what he's planning to do. He's deliberately coy, and he likes to be coy, and then when people try to figure out what he's saying, he gets pissed off. Why are you talking about me? Well, you had a microphone in your freaking hands, bro. You could tell us what you're planning to do. Why is it such a game? Why is it such a mystery? Just tell us what you're going to do. There's a point where it's exhausting. Sorry, London.
Yeah.
I feel better.
I hear you. That's good. I'm glad you got that off your chest. Way to go.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.